I first met Jeff back when Evan Bayh was elected governor, and Evan and Jeff were close, and Jeff was a strong supporter of Evan Bayh's, and so I got to know him that way, and we've known each other ever since, both personally and politically, and in sort of his business life as well.
I first got a chance to work with Jeff when I worked for the city of Indianapolis, and he's a giant in our community, known in the radio business nationally and internationally, and of course also known in many other capacities as well in terms of a sports franchise owner. And then here in Indianapolis, Jeff has just made such an impact on this community.
Jeff has ventured out in many directions, business, professional, political, in the sense that he is invested in the best interests of the city of Indianapolis and of the state of Indiana and of the country.
I remember from my times, I worked in the governor's office and I also worked in the mayor's office, and he was equally sought after for advice, whether it was a governor or whether it was a mayor. Didn't matter what party it was, they wanted his advice because, he had just such a great track record of being an entrepreneur or being a business person here in Indianapolis.
Indianapolis was built on civic pride and civic leadership, corporate leadership and political leadership working together. Nobody over the decades has illustrated that concept better than Jeff Smulyan. I knew Chuck Whistler, I'm that old, and Jeff is the perfect epitome of the civic commitment of Chuck Whistler.
I think he has a real innate love of Indianapolis. He wanted to make it a better city. And we did that through media. I mean, that was the business. And we gave it a good magazine. We gave it good radio. He gave it good radio stations. I wasn't involved in the radio side. But we did everything we could to honor Indianapolis.
Jeff is really a visionary. He aims high, and he works with everyone. And so whether it's his involvement as the CEO at a CEO level on, for example, the Central Indiana Corporate Partnership, his involvement in day-to-day community activities with his daughter, Sammy. I mean, he's right there on the ground, helping people, sharing ideas and trying to make it a better place. And frankly, Jeff does make Indianapolis a better place.
So he is a person who invites others to participate, and he brings people from all different sectors, from the business sector, from the political sector, from the entrepreneurial and entertainment sectors to participate.
Well, I mean, Jeff is a dependable contributor to important Indianapolis causes. And so it's not just the anchoring of Emmis on the Circle, which was huge at the time. No one can remember before the Circle Center and all of the problems we had. Jeff's commitment to the community allowed him to do that. But he is a regular volunteer for community activities. Emmis is a contributor to volunteer initiatives. Jeff's talk is matched by his commitment financially and as a corporate leader.
I still listen to him in my head. When he says, take the high road, it's less traveled. I say that to my children. I say it to my grandchildren. When he says, what's the worst that could happen? That's another phrase that he would use, meaning take a risk. And I think that's another layer of Jeff that a lot of people don't see, is the just the wisdom that comes from life and the wisdom that comes from heading up a company like that for all those years. So I keep him with me even when we're apart.
But as I think back on how I would categorize Jeff's role in the history of our city, that's the way I think of it. That when that sort of first generation of founding fathers and mothers was starting to fade a little bit, he's the guy who really became the leader of the next generation.
Everyone who's ever received the Whistler Award is selfless in some way, because you're putting, your community and putting your city before yourself. And Jeff is someone who's incredibly worthy of that designation, of this award. And I can't think of anyone in our city who's more deserving.
When I think about people who have contributed so much to Indianapolis, Central Indiana, and our broader community, I can't think of anybody who's done more than you, my friend. virtually every philanthropic, business, and civic undertaking that's been worthwhile in the last, 4 or 5 decades, are we really that old, has benefited from your participation and help. As a matter of fact, Jeff, while in general I'm opposed to human cloning, in your case, I might argue we should make an exception, although Heather might complain about that. In any event, my friend, congratulations, Godspeed, and the final thing I would say is that the more people we have like Jeff Smulyan in this world, the better off this world will be.